What up, guys? Show starts in 3 minutes from now. Clippers in Memphis taking on the Grizz. Adam Osland, welcome in. Final game before Friday, when maybe, just maybe, Kawhi Leonard's back. We shall see. Welcome into Clippers Countdown as your 16-13 LA Clippers are walking in Memphis and might be running very soon against the 29, make it 20-9 Memphis Grizzlies, who play at the fastest pace in the NBA with one of the deepest teams in the league that includes some top-end talent like Triple J and John Moran, who will tell you they ain't ducking no smoke. They're going reverse Santa. They're running up the chimney, and they aren't gifting you any free victories. You're going to have to earn them, especially in Memphis, where they are 13-3 on the season so far. Meanwhile, your Los Angeles Clippers will try to get back to 500 on the road this season after falling to 6-7 on the road in a 16-point loss Saturday in Dallas. Here was Coach Lue post-game on what hurt the Clippers in their 113-97 defeat.
We just couldn't get an offensive rhythm. I didn't think all night and get them credit for, a lot of things that they did, but just couldn't get in the flow offense. We turned the basketball over. Couldn't really get to our spots like we wanted to. And so I thought defensively we did a good job in that first half. Then we gave up like 4 or 5 offensive rebounds the last 5 minutes, which allowed them to get dunks and putbacks. And so we had to be better with that as well.
The Clippers are going to have to be sound in all areas. When going up against a team that has the second best record in the West in their house, maybe the Clippers can bring some of that old school grit and grind to Memphis. Tip time between the Clippers and Grizzlies from FedEx Forum is just about 58 minutes away. Coming up, Law Murray will join the show. Plus, you're going to hear from assistant coach B. Shaw. But up next, it's your radio voice of the Clippers and Carlo Jimenez right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers in Memphis taking on the Grizzlies. Tip-off is just about 58 minutes away. Welcome back in. I'm Adam Osland. This is Clippers Countdown. Still to come, you're going to hear from assistant coach Brian Shaw. But join the show right now from FedEx Forum as your radio voice of the Clippers in Memphis. It's Carlo Jimenez. Carlo, how we doing?
Adam, what's up, baby? I'm doing good. I'm currently trying to figure out why my computer won't let me look at your beautiful face here on the YouTube. But outside of that, life is good. We're in Memphis. They got the throwback Grizzly on the center court. I'm excited.
Let's go. Clippers trying to bounce back after a 16-point loss on Saturday in Dallas to the Mavericks, where the Clippers just missed an inordinate amount of three-pointers, especially through the first three quarters. They mounted a comeback. They had it to within 6 late in the ball game, Carlo, but just not enough to come across the finish line.
No, and you pointed it out during that game, but it felt like Dallas was the much more physical team in that contest, Adam. They made the Clippers feel them throughout the contest. The Clippers struggled at times to be able to fight through that contact and really dominate the glass in the painted area. It felt like Dallas was able to play through the paint a lot more. They scored 32 points in the paint, and the Clippers win. Then they got that number up to 44 in their win on Saturday. Saturday in Dallas. Sorry, Adam, the days kind of blend together.
I get it.
But overall, I think for the Clipper team, you'll take the split on the 2-game trip to Dallas, one of the best teams out west.
You'll take the split, of course. In that second quarter, though, the Clippers scored just 4 buckets. They only had 8 points the last 8 minutes of that period. Got down by 14 at the half. It was nice to see them, make a bit of a comeback late, but maybe the end of that second quarter was their undoing, getting down by 14 at the midway point.
Yeah, look, Dallas hadn't lost since they had a lead heading into the second half. They were 16-0 on the season. They improved to 17-0. So anytime you fall behind, it's tough to surmount comebacks in the NBA, but especially against the Dallas Mavericks, who've only conceded one 10-point lead all season long. The Clippers dug the hole a little bit too deep and then were unable to come away with a victory down the stretch. For this Clipper team, you got to start faster. Seems like, Adam, when the Clippers do get off to a hot start, things usually go well the rest of the way. Interested to see how they start here in Memphis. It will be a hostile environment on the road at FedEx Forum. Their only trip, though, to FedEx Forum.
They got to take care of the basketball, too. Too many turnovers recently, a lot of them stemming from James Harden. Over his last 4 games since that 8-day layoff, Carlo, he's had more turnovers than assists. Not exactly a recipe for success. Hopefully he's much sharper tonight with the ball.
Yeah, I'm sure he's aware of that. That at times it's been a tough struggle for him to be able to take care of the basketball for this Clipper team. I think also, Adam, the Clippers have to take some pressure off of him. Can somebody else be a creator on the offensive end for this Clipper group? They have to find ways to be able to take the pressure off James Harden. And I think also, Adam, for James, can he make the easy play down the stretch? At times feels like he's trying to make the hard play for this Clipper team, make the extra pass instead of making the pass to the guy to his left who can then feed it to the guy in the corner. The Clippers put so much responsibility on James Harden. There's no doubt about that. The question will be for this contest, who's going to help him out when it comes to taking care of the basketball, dribbling the basketball? I thought Norman Powell, before that last Dallas game, Adam, was excellent being able to find his teammates in transition. He had 5 assists in that game. Can Norm maybe allow James to take a possession or two off?
Yeah, Norm with 28 points on Saturday, but it took him 22 shots to get there. Not the frequent efficiency we've been seeing, the usual efficiency from Norman Powell. Expect him to bounce back as well after playing 42 minutes in the Clippers' 113-97 loss Saturday night in Dallas. They would split the 2-game mini series. Tonight they're in Memphis taking on the Grizzlies. Carlo Jimenez is on the call. And up next, he's got his one-on-one conversation with assistant coach B. Shaw right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers in Memphis taking on John Morant and the Grizzlies. Tip-off is just about 49 minutes away. I'm Adam Osland. This is Clippers Countdown. Still to come. We'll get your player to watch. We'll go back in time and Clippers Rewind as well. But first, let's head back over to your radio voice of the Clippers and Carlo Jimenez.
Thank you so much, Adam. Here with assistant coach Brian Shaw before the Clippers take on the Memphis Grizzlies. Coach, Dallas played a very physical brand of basketball last game. Memphis also plays a physical brand of basketball. They're tops in the league in fouls per game. How do you try to turn an opponent's physicality into your advantage?
Well, we have to meet their physicality with physicality, and we didn't do that, particularly in the first half against Dallas the other night. They got on the offensive boards early in the first half. We turned the ball over, and so that's a bad combination for us. So, we have to stand their guys up, hit them, turn around, find them, hit bodies, and box out for one, and then also expect that we're going to be hit. When you're playing a physical team, they're trying to set the tone and not get caught up in whether the referees, call it or not. Just keep playing the game.
This is a Memphis team that 10 guys average 9 or more points. As a staff, how do you try to help your team prepare, even though another team is so deep?
Well, you just you want to take away anything easy. You want to make everybody work for everything that they get. Obviously, if Ja is out there, he's a guy that you want to key on, but they keep you spread out. Jaren Jackson can shoot from three, or he can take you inside. And so you kind of have to pick your poison. But mainly you want to keep them out of the paint, make them beat us over the top, and not allow them to get second and third shots.
Talk about a guy who's been able to earn you guys some second chance shots. Ivica Zubac is one of 3 players averaging 15 points, 10 rebounds, and shooting 60% from the field. The other two are Giannis and Sabonis. How have you seen him grow? You guys put a lot of responsibility on him at the start of the year. Seems like he's been in more control now in this 30 games in with that responsibility.
Yeah, with Kawhi being out, and James is a distributor of the ball, we've emphasized more going into Zoo, as an option and playing through him. And he's welcomed that and done well in that role. Realizing a lot of times he's, the bigger, stronger guy in his matchup. He's being more physical. He's always had a nice touch around the basket, but I think before he was anytime he got the ball out inside, he was looking to pitch it out and then run out and set a screen. And now he's more willing to make post moves and take advantage of that soft touch that he has inside.
Thank you so much, Coach. Best of luck.
All right, thank you.
Carlo Jimenez there in the Library and FedEx Forum with assistant coach B. Shaw as we're getting set for the Clippers taking on the Memphis Grizzlies. Tip-off is just about 45 minutes away. Coming up, we'll get your player to watch, but up next, we're going back in time and Clippers Rewind right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers in Memphis taking on the Grizzlies. Tip-off is just about 44 minutes away. I'm Adam Osland. Coming up, we'll get to your player to watch, and Law Murray of The Athletic will be here. But first, we're going back in time in Clippers Rewind. Over 14 years here to April 29th of 2012. The 3D craze of the movies was back, and so was James Cameron's Titanic, re-released in 3D. On the radio at the time, though, it was not Celine Dion's My Heart Will Go On that was at the top of the Billboard charts, but rather the band Fun and their hit We Are Young. And as for the Clippers, they were staging one of the biggest playoff comebacks in NBA history. Not the biggest, they have that. It was against the Memphis Grizzlies in the first round of the 2012 playoffs.
Here's Arenas from the wing of the lane, penetrates, kicks it right side to Pondexter, up top to Mayo. Thought about the three, instead drives the lane, loses the ball. Young has it, arching pass down court, fielded by Griffin at the foul line, spins his way to the rim, takes it to the rack, lays it up and lays it, and then cut it on a foul. And I'll be honest, if it wasn't a 90-69 affair, the crowd would even be going nuts about that one. Griffin picked up by Gasol, penetrates, pitches up top to Paul, sheds his defender and Allen. In the corner, far side to Bledsoe for three. It's in the air and it's good. A three from Eric Bledsoe, just his 7th of the year. And believe it or not, 95-82. The natives certainly restless now. The Clippers with the last 11 points in the game. Chris Paul with a rebound. Racing down the center of the floor. Right side to Young. He's open for three. He lets it fly. Oh, he put it in. 96-90. A 6-point game with 2:10 to play. Do you believe it? Chris Paul at the center court logo. He attacks the foul line, steps back, dumps it inside to Evans, down the lane. He lays it in for the first time tonight. The Clippers take the lead, 97-96. The bearded beast with 7 points and 13 rebounds. Conley inbounds to Rudy Gay, picked up by Kenyon Martin. The crowd restless. They're all on their feet. Gay, watched by Martin, attacks the foul circle. Down the lane, stops. Guarded, 15-footer in the air, misses short. Oh, my goodness! I don't believe what I have seen! The Clippers overcome a 27-point deficit and win Game 1.
Brian Seaman on the call. Yeah, the Clippers were down 27 with 2:38 left in the third quarter, but ended the game on a 28-2 run where Nick Young, Swaggy P, gave them 19 points off the bench and hit some huge threes, as you heard there. CP3, of course, the big assist late to Reggie Evans for a key bucket. It was just game 1 of that 7-game series that would go on to play 7 games. Clippers versus Memphis Grizzlies back in 2012. The Clippers would pull it out in a Game 7 in Memphis. Clippers back in Memphis tonight, taking on Ja Morant, Triple J, and the Grizz. Tip-off is just about 40 minutes away. Coming up next, we'll get your player to watch right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers in Memphis taking on the Grizzlies. Tip-off is just about 39 minutes away. I'm Adam Osland. This is the official pregame show of your Los Angeles Clippers. It is Clippers Countdown. Coming up, we got Law Murray coming up from The Athletic here. But first,
this is LA Clippers basketball.
Watching this guy play right now is really something.
Players to watch.
I rarely pick this player to watch because typically it's too easy. Because typically he's having a good ball game. But over the last 4 games, James Harden has had more turnovers than he's had assists. Strangely. Now they're 2-2 over those 4 games. He's had a 41-point game in there against the Utah Jazz, but the turnover numbers are far too high, especially for him. 26 turnovers to, how many assists do we got here? 22 assists. 4 more turnovers than assists over the last 4 games for James Harden. He simply has to be better. And mind you, this is coming off the 8 days off that he had, where he didn't play that game against the Houston Rockets. The Clippers had a big break in the schedule. He missed 8 days, came back, and has looked a little bit rusty. Coach Lue thought he looked a little bit tired Saturday night. He had 19 points in 37 minutes on 6 of 18 shooting in their 113-97 loss in Dallas to the Mavericks, but just 2 of 9 from the outside. The legs didn't seem to be there, and 3 assists to 7 turnovers. 7 of the Clippers' 17 overall turnovers. You got to clean that stuff up. Hopefully it happens in Memphis tonight for the Bearded Wonder. Clippers taking on the Grizzlies. Tip-off is just 37 minutes away. Coming up next, your injury report, and then Law Murray of The Athletic right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers in Memphis taking on the Grizzlies. Tip-off is just about 33 minutes away. I'm Adam Osland. This is Clippers Countdown. Coming up, we got Law Murray of The Athletic. He will join us in our Media Roundtable segment. But first, let's get to your injury report, brought to you by Prize Picks. Download the app today and use code KLAC to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. For the Memphis Grizzlies, they will be without Marcus Smart. who has a hand injury. Jay Huff with an ankle injury is also out for them. Still no Terrence Mann with that broken left middle finger for your Los Angeles Clippers. And we just got this from Law Murray of The Athletic. Kawhi Leonard will not be playing, according to sources, on Friday in the game against the Golden State Warriors. Big Zoo is a game-time decision for tonight's ball game, by the way. But Kawhi Leonard will not play Friday versus Golden State back at Intuit Dome. More with Law Murray on just that, the Claw, Kawhi Leonard, coming up next here on Clippers Countdown on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers in Memphis taking on the Grizzlies. Tip-off just 30 minutes away. Welcome back in. I'm Adam Osland. Coming up, we'll get to an NBA out-of-town scoreboard. Before we get to our guest, let's hear from him pregame with Coach Lou at the pregame presser, talking about the latest with Kawhi Leonard.
Where you're at this week, you got a game, you got 3 days off, you got Friday. Like, how do you feel where Kawhi is at the end of this road trip?
He's been doing what he had to do. I've been trying to get closer to playing. He's still not ready yet. He still has some more 5-on-5 that he needs to do before we allow him to get on the court. And we don't want to rush the situation. We want to make sure we're doing right by Kawhi and make sure we're doing the proper things to get him back on the floor where he's closest to 100%. So,
when you observe that for yourself, when you say he's not ready yet, you probably know when he is because you've been with him for.
I mean, he looks good,
Yeah.
but he just still has some more boxes he has to check before we let him on the floor. Like 2 or 3, 4, 5-on-5 is not good enough. We got to make sure we're doing the right thing. Make sure we keep stacking these days up, keep stacking these 5-on-5s up, and then we'll go from there.
Law Murray of The Athletic is now joining us, who you heard there initiate the conversation with Coach Lou pregame regarding Kawhi Leonard. Law, how we doing, my friend?
I'm good. I will tell you, Vince Zubats will start tonight. So
Let's go.
That's new.
Okay, that's big. The calf injury has been something he's been dealing with over the last couple of years now, right?
I would say more than a couple years. I was in Charlotte when he first had an issue with his calf. Wound up, I think, missing maybe a game in what was an 8-game road trip. I was on that whole road trip back then, and January 2022. And then you saw right before the All-Star break in 2023, he had a calf issue. Wound up missing time right when Russell Westbrook was debuting for the Clippers. Last year, you saw the calf issue that he had. I was right here in Memphis. He was getting treatment after that game. And then next game was in Minnesota. He winds up missing more than 3 weeks. He's got soreness in that calf. He warmed up, though, and he's good to go. So here we are. We'll see how it goes.
Zoo's a tough guy. He's an Iron Man. They will need him tonight against the Memphis Grizzlies. Still no Kawhi Leonard, and you just reported a little bit ago that team sources from The Athletic confirmed that Kawhi will not play Friday versus the Golden State Warriors. But from what we just heard pregame with you talking with Coach Lou, doesn't mean there's a setback or anything like that. They just need more information to come in regarding Kawhi's rehab here.
It's not even more information. They just need him to play basketball on the ramp. This is the ramp up period. This is all part of the protocol, and I mean, you just got to look at it as if he's week to week. That's how it's been, literally since training camp. And I would even say, training camp it should have been month to month, but we are going to take this until literally the last days of 2024. So he's definitely not playing Friday night. The next home game won't be until the 4th. I just bring that up just because I know people are going to want to come into a dome and see him. That's not happening in 2024, maybe 2025. We'll see about the back-to-back next week. San Antonio, New Orleans is on that trip. Not in that order, but it's on that trip. Oklahoma City is on that trip, and we'll see what we get from there.
Do we have any idea, with you talking with Coach Lou earlier, how much more ramp up is needed from Kawhi Leonard to get to a point where they feel comfortable having him out there?
Here's how much more. He needs to play basketball. He needs to get more work in, and it's good that process has started. It's just not enough right now, and maybe he can get some more in before Friday. That won't be enough before to help him play. They've got multiple days off before they take off for the Southwest, and maybe that will be enough. But, yeah, we're in the point where, is he closer? Yes. Has he had a setback? No. Is he there? No. That's where we're at.
Good information here from Law Murray of The Athletic on Kawhi Leonard. So the Clippers lost by 16 on Saturday night, Law. I want to ask you about that ball game. 17 turnovers, 7 of them from James Harden. He's had more turnovers than assists over his last 4 games since the 8 days he had off. What have you seen from James over that span? Does he look right to you?
Well, I'll tell you what T. Lou thought he saw. He saw a tired player, and we've heard that before. So the thing with James is, I feel like James has to just be more decisive. He's got to determine if he's going to take advantage of a scoring opportunity. And if he's not going to do that, he's got to take care of the basketball. Like, James's turnovers don't really come from him trying to score. They come from him trying to move the basketball, trying to penetrate, trying to make the extra play. And the extra play isn't always the right play. I'll tell you what, you turn the ball over against this Memphis team, it's going to be over in enough time for me to maybe catch my flight or something, man. I'm not leaving tonight, but maybe I should have reconsidered that. Like, this Memphis team is the only team in the league that's top 5 on both ends of the floor, both offense and defense. Every year they thrive off turnovers. The Grizzlies are another one of those teams. They will foul you relentlessly. They're not a good defensive rebounding team. So it's a matter of, if you take care of the basketball and draw fouls, you can do well against them. But if you don't take care of the basketball, if that contact and physicality turns into turnovers, which you saw from Dallas isn't even good at forcing turnovers, which meant the turnovers that you saw, especially Saturday night. I mean, it was bad. It was bad Thursday as well. James had like 4 turnovers in the first quarter alone Thursday. They cleaned that up, and that's when you started seeing them get into the paint at will. You do that against Memphis, is going to be whoop that trick early.
You talked with Ja Morant, I believe, when he was back in LA taking on the Lakers. They would lose that game, but I believe you talked with him about style of play and what has changed for this Memphis Grizzlies team. What does look different with them on the offensive end?
yeah, they run the fewest pick and rolls in the NBA by far. If you're one of those people that like to say things like the NBA, everyone on these teams play the same, you ain't been watching the Memphis Grizzlies. You didn't see a Memphis Grizzlies game this year. Win or lose, they do not look like a whole bunch of NBA teams. There are teams that I can identify, a key word around these parts, that they run twice as many pick and rolls as the Memphis Grizzlies do. That's not to say they don't run any, but it is to say they run the fewest in the league. It is a intentional thing that they don't run these pick and rolls. Like, they have other ways of how they want to play basketball. You will not see a mid-range jump shot from these dudes. If you do, it's probably an accident. Taylor Jenkins probably going to be frowning. He does not like non-paint twos. They are the heaviest team in the league when it comes to scoring in the paint. You know what they're trying to do. They're trying to run. Only the Thunder drive more than them. They're trying to be in the paint. And even though they're good at putting the ball in the basket, they crash like they aren't good at putting the ball in the basket. So you have to be ready to prepare for them. It's like a big, giant arrow straight to the rim. That's how their offense is. And they can inbound. And I've seen multiple times John Morant will throw the advanced pass, and he's got athletes. So you have to defend them as soon as the ball comes out the net or as soon as the ball touches their two hands, because they are a threat to get the first shot as often as possible.
You talked with the coach Lou post-game Saturday night after they lost 113-97 in Dallas to the Mavericks, and asked him about the second unit and how they've been playing. Obviously, they didn't have much scoring output outside of KPJ. What's your concern right now with the second unit? Is it just they don't have enough initiators and guys who can create for themselves?
I mean, that's part of it. The other part is guys just aren't playing as well as they should, man. Like, that's really what it comes down to. Like I am not feeling great about if Vince Zubac's playing basketball tonight. If the Clippers had a more secure center situation, they would have made the decision for him. Instead, they let him warm up, and he's going to go out there at the end of this road trip. Hopefully it works out. They need better play from really every single position. Amir is really good. He's shooting the heck out the basketball. That dude took one shot Saturday night, and it was a terrible air ball where a guy was closing out, and Amir shot it like a dude who hadn't touched the basketball in 2 hours. Like, we all know how that is. And so you need everything. The thing is, Kevin Porter Jr. reminds me so much of what T. Lue wants in guys like John Wall. Like, when John Wall was here 2 seasons ago, John played every game until he was hurt, until they removed him from the team, almost in part because John Wall is a professional point guard who was trying to get his rhythm back. And T. Lue is going to give a guy a chance like that time to get his rhythm back, especially when he doesn't like his alternatives. And that's really what it comes down to. Who are the alternatives? Until Kawhi gets back, until Terrence Mann gets back, you're going to see the guys get out there, and it's going to look raggedy. And this is a Memphis Grizzlies team, even though they don't have name brand dudes, they got guys who are playing a solid basketball. They're on a string. It doesn't matter who's out tonight. Marcus Smart's out. Jay Huff is out. But those guys know exactly how to play. And you're going to see a stark contrast from a team that has a bench that bench got their ass kicked last year, but this year they are excelling because of the licks that they took last year. The Clippers, what they need is they need some better players to come back to the lineup, but the players that are playing tonight, they just need to be able to play better, play more intentional, take care of the basketball, hit shots, make things happen, even if they're not getting the touches that they need.
Derek Jones Jr. only played 17 minutes last game. Do you expect him to still be on a minutes restriction here, Law?
I think so. Again, this dude is another one who is like, it's cool that he came back. I'm shocked that he came back when he did. And as much as we celebrate guys for playing when they're hurt or less than 100%, you can see the impact. Like Derek Jones Jr., he's another one. He missed every single three that he took Saturday night. He went 0 for 4. And it's not just the misses. It's the quality of the misses. They're short. They're not really close. He doesn't look like he has his legs. He admitted Thursday night, even in the game that he won, that he was like, yeah, I got to get my rhythm back. I got to get my win back. Like, he took time off of playing basketball after playing every single game to start the season. So we'll see about the minute restriction. Whether he plays 30 minutes or 20 or 15, I don't care. Like, guys just need to play well. They need to play like they've been playing, and they need their teammates to pick them up so that you don't have situations like Saturday night where, you know, the first unit's out there for the first 8 to 10 minutes of the quarter just to try and come back from a double-digit hole. And you know that even though they cut the lead down, it was only going to be a matter of time before that energy was going to rubber band and hit them right back. So we'll see what we get from Derek. We'll see what we get from Chris Dunn. We'll see what we get from the supporting cast. Everyone needs to play better if they want to bounce back and end this trip the right way before Christmas.
He is Law Murray of The Athletic, who confirmed that Kawhi Leonard will not play Friday versus the Golden State Warriors. Of course, follow him at Law Murray, DNU. Read him on The Athletic. Give yourself a little holiday gift. You can give yourself a stocking stuffer. It can be a digital one. Subscribe to The Athletic. Join Law Murray. Track him as he tracks the Clippers throughout the country. Law, I appreciate your work all season long. We will talk to you soon, my friend. Happy holidays to you.
Hey, same to you. Same to all of y'all. Enjoy the game tonight.
Coming up next, we will get to an NBA out-of-town scoreboard. The Clippers are in Memphis taking on the Grizzlies, and tip-off is just 18 minutes away. I'm Adam Osland, and you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network.
Chanel on your feet, hot sex on a platter makes the mission complete.
Clippers taking on the Grizz in Memphis. Tip time is just about 15 minutes away. Welcome back. I'm Adam Osland. Coming up here on Clippers Countdown, we'll get back to your radio voice of the Clippers in Carlo Jimenez. But first, let's get to your drive around the league, brought to you by Toyota's electrified lineup, including hybrids, plug-in hybrids, all electrics, and even fuel cell electric vehicles. So you can choose exactly the type you need for your lifestyle. We make it easy. A couple of games that have tipped off early in the association. Second quarter action in Charlotte, and the Rockets lead 45-21 with 8 minutes left in the second quarter. Fred VanVleet already has 12 of their 45 points. They are up big early. Game delayed in Cleveland. Weather delay between themselves and the Utah Jazz. Second quarter action in Orlando. Good one here. Celtics on top of the Magic, 37-26. Jaylen Brown has 15 points with 7 minutes left in the second quarter there. Celtics up by 11. Second quarter action in Philadelphia. Spurs trail the Sixers 27-28. Joel Embiid is playing in this one. He has a quick 9 points for Philly, man. 8 minutes left in the second quarter there. And tipping off later tonight in Denver, the struggling somewhat Denver Nuggets, at least relative to expectations, are hosting the Phoenix Suns, who have had some injury concerns. Also, up in San Francisco at Chase Center, Golden State Warriors, who have been struggling themselves. Been some cryptic tweets and social media posts from players. They will host the Indiana Pacers. Coming up next, back to Carlo Jimenez. Clippers in Memphis taking on the Grizzlies. I'm Adam Osland, and you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network.
Turn the music up in the headphones. Tim, you can go and brush your shoulders off. I got you. Yeah.
Clippers in Memphis taking on Ja Morant and the Memphis Grizzlies. I'm Adam Osland. This is Clippers Countdown. We're about 12 minutes away from tip-off. Coming up, we'll get to your keys to victory. But first, back to FedEx Forum with your radio voice of the Clippers, my guy Carlo Jimenez. So, Carlo, what have you seen that has been most impressed you about this Memphis Grizzlies team so far this season?
Adam, honestly, it's just how deep they are. I mean, this is a Memphis team that's got so many guys scoring the basketball. You mentioned how they're top in the league in points in the paint per game this season, and yet they have nobody in the top 10 in points in the paint per game. Their leading scorer is averaging 21 points a game in Jaren Jackson Jr. They do it with everybody. It's a group effort here for the Memphis Grizzlies. Everyone is involved in a different way. They have, I think you mentioned it yesterday on Clippers Talk, but was it 10 guys averaging 9 or more points a game? I mean, they are ultra deep with this team, and I think that's the most impressive part, because while they have been more consistent this season on both ends of the floor, they've been more effective on both ends of the floor, but everyone has bought into this standard that's being set by Taylor Jenkins that has led to a lot of success.
Triple J is having a career year right now. He's actually leading them in scoring by a fraction of a point over Ja Morant. Kind of taking that next step as he becomes more of a veteran out there, but does it in a variety of ways on the offensive end with Triple J.
Yeah, he does. I mean, his ability to find his teammates in transition, leading the team now with 8 assists per game. And since coming back from that lower back soreness, Adam, he's been excellent the last couple of contests. Ja Morant, 27 points a game, 45% from the field, 48% from the three-point line. I think for this Memphis team, it's just making sure he can stay healthy. We know how good they have been with him on the floor. It's not like a couple of years ago when they finished second, but missed him for about 25 games and had a winning record. I believe they only lost single-digit games in his 30-plus games he missed that year. They need Ja Morant this season because of what he's doing, passing the basketball, being a distributor for this offensive team. So we'll see if he can continue to find a way to be effective on the offensive end without scoring the basketball like he's done it so far this season.
Clippers taking on the Memphis Grizzlies. So when you look at this Clippers team and you look at a player to watch, I was going to go with Big Zoo, but he was a game-time decision. So instead I went with James Harden, who's got to clean things up in the turnover department. Who do you have as your player to watch tonight for the Clippers, Carlo?
I like that pick, Adam. I think I'm going to go with Derrick Jones Jr. here. Can he be effective from the three-point line and kind of stifle Ja Morant, who's been the head of the snake on the offensive end for this Memphis team? I think Derrick is shooting 52% from three on the road this season. He's got to be able to shoot at that efficiency for this Clipper team to find success. You need to hit threes against Memphis. This is one of the best teams in the NBA. If the Clippers want a fighting chance, they have to shoot above 35%. It's kind of the Mendoza line that Law Murray has talked about on the season. The Clippers 13-3 when they shoot above 35%, 3-10 when they don't. Can they get to that number here against Memphis? Give themselves a chance down the stretch. This is not the Memphis of last year, guys. This might be the best Memphis team we have seen under Ja Morant and Taylor Jenkins, and so far they're playing that way. One of the only teams to be top 5 in offensive and defensive rating, and like you've talked about, last 15 games they're 12-3. That is matching the Celtics, the Thunder, and the Mavericks for the best record over the last 15 games.
When you look at this Clippers team and you see that Big Zoo is that game-time decision, he is going to give it a go tonight. Do you expect more minutes from Mo Bamba and maybe even Kai Jones out there, because maybe Big Zoo can't play his usual 33 or whatever it's at?
Yeah, and I think the Clippers are going to be extra cautious with Ivica Zubac to start this game. You cannot allow your center, who's been a rock. I mean, I talked about it with Brian Shaw, but this is a guy who is averaging 15 points, 10 rebounds on 60% from the field. The only two other players doing that in the NBA, Adam, are superstars, really, Domantas Sabonis and Giannis Antetokounmpo. And we'll see if the Clippers, understanding the gravity that Big Zoo holds, understanding that you're at the end of the 3-game road trip, you have 3 days off after this game before you play the Golden State Warriors on the 27th at home. Can he be effective, but also no need to force it? This is a long season. We saw how much the Clippers struggled last year when Ivica Zubac was out with that calf strain for an extended period of time. Making sure Big Zoo is healthy, I mean, let's be honest, probably one of the more important things this Clipper team can do if they want to have success long term.
No doubt. You talked about needing to hit some three-pointers to loosen up this defense of the Memphis Grizzlies. Well, good to see Chris Dunn knock down 3 three-pointers. He went 3 of 6 Saturday night in Dallas, maybe starting to catch a little bit of a heater after a month or so where he's been cold from the outside.
Yeah, and the Clippers would need him to come back to life. He might be playing with a little chip on his shoulder. He always is, but a little extra chip, maybe 2 chips on that shoulder, like Pringles stacked in a can at him, because he was with this Memphis Grizzly team in training camp 2 years ago and was cut before he could even make it to Memphis. The training camp was away from the city, was cut at the end of training camp, ended up going to the G League with the Capital City Go-Go in D.C. They had a welcome back sign for him in front of the locker room for Chris Dunn. I'm sure Chris isn't, I mean, maybe he is happy for the opportunity. I don't know exactly what he's feeling, but I would feel like if I got cut by a team before training camp could end and now I'm starting for that team's opponent, I think I have something to prove tonight for the Clippers. I'd love to see Chris Dunn play with extra fire underneath him today, really muck things up. Memphis's offense thrives on drive and kick. They want to create space by making you collapse upon them in the lane. Well, if you have great on-ball defenders, you don't need to send 2 to the ball when guys drive. Dunn and Derrick Jones Jr., a big part of that tonight for the Clippers.
Maybe some Chris Dunn deluxe tonight in Memphis against the Grizzlies. Carlo Jimenez is on the call. Tip-off is just about 6 minutes away. Coming up next, we'll get your keys to victory right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network.
Where you from? Don't matter to me. She said, hola, como esta? She said, konnichiwa. She said, pardon my French. I said, bonjour, my da. Then she said, sabase.
Clippers in Memphis taking on the Grizzlies. I'm Adam Osland. This is Clippers Countdown. Tip-off is just moments away. Let's get to your keys to victory. Memphis Grizzlies. Well, they have the second best offense in the league over the last 10 games. As Carlo mentioned, last 15 games, they're 12-3, tied for the best record in the NBA with OKC, Boston, and the Dallas Mavericks over that stretch. They don't have a lot of flaws on this team. One of them, though, is defensive rebounding. The Clippers might be able to snag a few more offensive rebounds tonight. And the Memphis Grizzlies, they're second worst when it comes to turnovers per game. Now, they play at the fastest pace, so that has something to do with it there. Turnover rate, not the same as how many turnovers you have per game, but they do turn it over. The Clippers have to get those turnovers and turn them into some quick and easy scores and hopefully knock down some three-pointers and get hot early, because they couldn't find the bottom of the net in Dallas, at least through 3 quarters the other night. They were shooting under 30% heading into that fourth quarter en route to that 16-point loss to the Dallas Mavericks on Saturday. Tonight, hopefully some of those shots are falling frequently for the Clippers. They're going to need them to help loosen up this stout Memphis Grizzlies defense. Tip-off is just about 2 minutes away. Carlo Jimenez on the call. Clippers in Memphis tipping off from the FedEx Forum. And Carlo Jimenez is on the other side next, right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network.
I go on and on, can't understand how I last so long. I must have superpowers, rap 225,000.